SpongeBob SquarePants never set out to tell a story about the crushing weight of existence, but somehow, in between the goofy gags and the underwater physics, it accidentally aired one of the most terrifying explorations of existential nihilism ever. It's a chill Sunday morning in Bikini Bottom. Squidward is ready to serenade the world with his sweet, sweet tunes, but of course, SpongeBob's loud alarm clock somehow jams Squidward's clarinet right down his throat. Gross, right? And then, our favorite yellow sponge, along with his best bud Patrick, shows up, all hyped for jellyfishing. Squidward, in his typical fashion, wants absolutely nothing to do with them. He's trying to get some peace, some quiet, some alone time to practice his art, but SpongeBob, being SpongeBob, just doesn't get the hint.
Now?
Now!
Now?
Now!
How about now?
Now!
Now?
Now!
Now?
Now!
Now?
Now! Now! What?
Ready yet?
Ready now? He keeps asking, tapping on the door. It's like a broken record, a cartoon version of that annoying relative who just won't leave you alone. So what does a genius like Squidward do? He pulls a sneaky move. He tells them to wait, then tiptoes out the back, making a break for the Krusty Krab, figuring it'll be deserted on a Sunday. And for a glorious moment, it is. He's there in the silence, about to finally play his clarinet. But hold up, because this is where the real fun begins. SpongeBob and Patrick, those two persistent goofs, somehow track him down. They're calling his name, roaming through the Krusty Krab. So, Squidward, in a moment of pure panic and desperation for solitude, dives into the storage freezer. He's thinking he'll just hide for a bit, they'll leave, and he'll be free. But oh boy, does this escape go sideways. He tries to open the freezer door and it's locked from the inside. He tells himself that someone will find him soon. Famous last words, right? But it gets so much crazier from here. The screen fades and then
2,000 years later.
And we see Squidward, still frozen solid in a block of ice, looking exactly as he did when he went in. The hinges on the freezer door are rusted through. They finally give way, and Squidward, still encased in ice, tumbles out. And then, out of nowhere, a chrome, robotic descendant of SpongeBob called Spongetron flies by. He spots our frozen friend, thaws him out with a laser from a chrome hammer, because everything is chrome in the future, apparently, and Squidward awakens to a world he doesn't recognize. Everything is shiny, futuristic, and annoyingly chrome. He's completely out of his element, and the future is full of even more SpongeBobs. Spongetrons X, Y, and Z, and apparently 486 other letters of the alphabet. This is where the first little hints of existential dread start creeping in. Squidward wants to go home, to his own time, to his familiar, unchrome world. He's lost, displaced, and totally bewildered. But it gets so much crazier from here. Spongetron points him to a time machine, and Squidward, being the ultimate anti-SpongeBob fanatic, decides, if SpongeBob exists in the future, I'd better go to the past. His goal is to find a time before SpongeBob was even a twinkle in his primitive sponge parents' eyes. He just wants peace. He just wants to play his clarinet without interruption. So he sets the machine for past, and off he goes, hurtling through dimensions. He lands in the primordial sea, a wild, prehistoric version of Bikini Bottom. There are weird sea creatures, ammonites, and no sign of houses or anything developed. He thinks, finally, alone with my clarinet. But wouldn't you know it, almost immediately he bumps into a primitive sponge and a primitive starfish. And guess what? They act exactly like SpongeBob and Patrick. They're curious, clingy, and completely fascinated by him. This is where things get philosophically interesting. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre famously said that for humans, existence precedes essence. That means you are born first, you exist, and then, through your choices and actions, you create your own meaning and identity, your essence. But this episode flips that on its head. For SpongeBob and Patrick, it seems their essence precedes their existence. They're naturally happy, jellyfish-chasing little troublemakers. It's just who they are, like gravity is part of how the world works. They were always going to be this way, even before they were them. Even in the dawn of time, Squidward can't escape his destiny. He tries to play his clarinet, but these primitive versions of his neighbors keep interrupting him, zapping themselves with jellyfish and screaming. So, in a moment of desperation, Squidward, our hero, accidentally invents jellyfishing by showing them how to use loincloths as nets. Yeah, he literally creates the very thing he despises the most, because even in the distant past, he's still reacting to the same annoying forces. And of course, once the primitive SpongeBob and Patrick start jellyfishing, they get annoyed by Squidward's clarinet music and chase him down. Talk about a full circle. Squidward scrambles back into the time machine, desperate to escape these primal annoyances. He frantically jams the lever, trying to get back to the present, but in his panic, he snaps it right off. And this, my friends, is the moment the episode goes from a silly time time travel cartoon to a deep dive into existential nihilism. The time machine goes haywire, spiraling through time and space until it finally lands in a place of pure emptiness. This isn't the past, it's not the future, and it's definitely not the present. It's nowhere. It's a blank, white void. And for a moment, Squidward is actually happy. He sighs. I may finally have found a place where I can be all alone. He shrinks, becoming tiny in the vast emptiness, a visual representation of his insignificance in this new, terrifying space. But then it hits him. Disembodied voices start repeating the word alone over and over, growing louder and louder, closer and closer. It's not just one voice, it's many, echoing, surrounding him. This is the core of the existential crisis. Being alone, truly alone in a place with no context, no landmarks, no past or future is terrifying. He tries to run, but he just keeps coming back to the same spot. He's stuck in an endless loop, a void without direction or meaning. He can't escape. He can't get his bearings. There's no there. He's lost everything that defines him. His home, his time, his annoying neighbors, even his sense of self in relation to others. This absolute aloneness, this loneliest loneliness, as some philosophers put it, is too much for him. And this is where Squidward has a complete breakdown. He stomps his foot in frustration, and in a truly bizarre turn of events, he crashes through the floor of nowhere and back into the time machine. The lever is still broken, but he doesn't care about fixing it anymore. He's sobbing, completely broken, and he begs the time machine to take him home. He screams, I want to go home!
I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
I miss Bikini Bottom. I miss my Easter Island head. I even miss SpongeBob. Think about that for a second. Squidward misses SpongeBob, the very person he spent the entire episode trying to escape. In the face of ultimate meaninglessness, of being utterly alone in an indifferent universe, the things he once hated, the noise, the interruptions, the relentless cheerfulness of SpongeBob, become comforting anchors. It's like when you're really sick and you suddenly miss even the most annoying parts of your normal routine. And just like magic, the moment he confesses he misses SpongeBob, the time machine snaps back to the present, right in front of his house on Conch Street. SpongeBob and Patrick are still there, waiting. Ready to go jellyfishing? They ask, as if no time has passed. Squidward, reeling, yells, No, who's the barnacle head who invented that game anyway? And SpongeBob and Patrick, with their usual oblivious cheer, reply, You are, Squidward? Talk about a gut punch. Not only did he experience the ultimate meaninglessness, not only did he realize he needs the very people he despises to feel anchored, but he also caused the annoying thing he hates most. He created his own misery, his own endless cycle. The episode ends with Squidward with a look of utter defeat and bewildered acceptance, simply stating, I'm going back. It's vague, but it implies he's going back to rectify his mistake, meaning he's stuck in this loop, forever tied to the very thing he tried to escape. So what does this all mean for existential nihilism? Well, existential nihilism basically says that life has no inherent meaning or value. The universe doesn't care about your hopes, your dreams, or your clarinet solos. There's no grand plan, no ultimate purpose. It can be a pretty bleak thought, right? But the beauty of SB 129 is how it plays with this idea. Squidward tries to escape his reality, to find a place where he can be truly free and truly alone. But what he finds is that complete freedom, complete aloneness, is actually a terrifying void. When there's nothing to react against, nothing to define himself by, he loses himself. He's confronted with the fact that his existence, without the context of his relationships, even the annoying ones, is just nothing. The alone chant in the void is a perfect representation of this. It's a mental and spiritual aloneness. He's disconnected from everything that gives his life structure. There's no past to remember, no future to anticipate, no present to truly experience. He's in a timeless, shapeless, meaningless space. And in that space, the only thing that brings him back is the acknowledgement of his connection to SpongeBob. No matter how much he usually hates it, it's like the universe is saying, you can try to run, Squidward, but you're stuck in this silly, meaningless existence with these silly, annoying people. Deal with it. The fact that he invented jellyfishing adds to the idea of a circular existence. He escapes the present, goes to the past, accidentally creates the catalyst for his present annoyance, and then returns to that same present, forever entangled in the very thing he tried to avoid. There's no real escape, no ultimate progress. It's just a cycle. This is a big part of nihilism. If nothing really matters, if there's no ultimate goal, then aren't we just repeating the same patterns over and over? Squidward's journey suggests that yes, we are. We try to escape, we find ourselves back where we started, and the only difference is our perspective. But here's the cool part. While it might seem like a super depressing ending for a kid's cartoon, SB 129 also offers a weird kind of acceptance. Squidward, after going through all that terror, literally begs to be back with SpongeBob. He chooses the annoyance, the familiar chaos, over the terrifying emptiness of nothingness. This isn't about finding a profound meaning, because the show subtly argues there isn't one. Instead, it's about accepting the lack of inherent meaning and finding value in the mundane, in the irritation, in the sheer absurdity of it all. It's a subtle nod to the idea that even if life is meaningless, we can still choose to engage with it, to find small comforts, even if those comforts are wrapped in the form of a laughably optimistic sponge. Squidward's journey is about recognizing that his personal hell, the one populated by SpongeBob and Patrick, is still better than no hell at all. It's an acceptance of his thrownness into this specific, ridiculous existence. He can either fight against the current forever and drown in despair, or he can just go with the flow, even if that flow takes him back to jellyfishing. It's a very Squidward-esque form of peace. He's not happy, but he's resigned, and in a way, that's a victory for him. He found his way back, not because he found meaning, but because he found something familiar to rail against. If you enjoyed this video and want to see me break down the SpongeBob episode about neglect, click the video on the screen.